Okay, today is December the 14th, 2017, and right now at 9:45 p.m. we have a temperature of 70 degrees in the foothills of Los Angeles. That's on the rise because of the Santa Ana wind condition that's been manufactured. We have this windy condition that's been on and off for the last week and a half, almost 2 weeks, which is a completely manufactured wind event which caused those fires last week. And those winds are still fairly strong. So we have 9% relative humidity right now in the foothills of Los Angeles. The dew point is 8 degrees, and the barometer is reading 30.10 inches. All right, so the temperature's on the rise. We're at 70 degrees now, and we're looking at the northeast Pacific water vapor loop. We have jet stream flow right here, moving across to the east, and then it dives down towards the Hawaiian Islands. It should be wrapping around right into a mid and upper level low pressure system right here. We see a disruption right here and an evaporation pattern right about here as this moisture dives down into this low. And the problem with this is that there is a transmitter squashing this low right here, and that's why we have all this evaporation. Okay, similarly, we had an upper level low right here over the peninsula of Baja California today. This was a closed low. We can look at the charts. This is the 500 millibar chart. This is no longer a closed low, but this morning it was. And the same thing on the 300 millibar. This is a low pressure system right down here. And if we take a look at the surface chart, we have a lot of very squiggly lines. The isobars are not flowing as they should be, and that indicates varying degrees of high and low pressure in this area. So we have transmitter manipulation at the surface level, and that's what these squiggly lines indicate. We can see that here on the 500 millibar, same thing. This is all due to transmitter manipulation. So we've got high pressure here, and we've got low pressure here, and that's what's causing the southbound winds through Southern California. If we look at the SSEC water vapor map, we have this on I believe this is a 48 image loop, so that's a 24-hour loop right here. And we can see what's happening here in the water vapor map. And so we see this low pressure area right over the Baja Peninsula. This was a upper level low today, this morning, a closed low right here. And we can see the effect that the high pressure is having on this low. There's no moisture getting into that low until it moves right into the side of this tropical flow here. This is a Pineapple Express flow right here. And towards the end of this loop, we see this upper level low move right up against this, and look what happens. We start to see the condensation. We start to see that vortex pulling moisture away from this tropical flow into that vortex right there towards the end of the loop. So here's the low right here towards the end of the loop. It moves right into the side of this northeast bound Pineapple Express. All right. So in the meantime, we have a lot of chemtrail spraying. We can see the spraying going on here. Also, there's a lot of chemtrail spraying blowing in over the mountains to the south. We've got high pressure right here. We can see that clockwise rotation right there. And of course, we've got the low pressure right in this area. And we have something right here which looks like it's trying to develop. We can see the outline of the high pressure right in this area, squashing not only this low here, but this one right here as this moves down south. So we've got a lot of wind in certain areas of Los Angeles the last day and a half. Let's go back and look at some of the big maps. First, let's take a look at the jet stream here. We can see the jet stream pattern. And we see the disruption right down here. We've got the Hawaiian Islands right over here. And the flow pattern is all disrupted because of that transmitter, which is squashing this mid and upper level low. Let's take a look at that again. And this low pressure vortex right here should be full of moisture all the way around. So we should have a continuity of moisture flow all the way around this low pressure. But we're not seeing that. In fact, rather than seeing this moisture wrap into that vortex, it's just winding around it like a pulley because there's a manufactured high pressure zone right here, which has been built in with a transmitter right through here. And that is separating the jet stream flow and redirecting it to the south. So this is how the jet stream is manipulated. We can see the very obvious high pressure zone right here. This wall, this is sort of like an electronic wall. It's being maintained by a transmitter. And notice that the jet stream runs into this area right there, has nowhere to go, and it turns south. It wraps around this low pressure right here. And rather than continuing to wrap back around in a circular low pressure pattern, it's forced to move back north. See right here, it's trying to make a U-turn. We can see some of that moisture right there trying to spin back and get into that low, because high pressure flows to low pressure, and that's exactly what this is right there. But instead, this channel of high pressure, which has been installed, is redirecting all this moisture up into Canada and back down. And of course, California is as dry as a bone. We've had single-digit relative humidity for many days. If we look at the Doppler map, we can see there's zero rain in California, Arizona, Nevada, Oregon, and basically all of Washington State right at this moment. Idaho, there's just no rain. And with this pattern here, we should be having a lot of rain. We've got, as I say, this was a mid and upper level low this morning, right down here. And we have another low pressure right here, which is, you can see the outline of that transmitter right there, just filling out. And that is being neutralized. If we look at this in the where is that? Right here. The western U.S. map, we can see the detail right here. So we've got one low pressure right here, and we have another one right about here, which is got the attention of a transmitter right there. And then we have the high pressure right here, which is blockading this flow pattern right here. This is jet stream flow. That is all being blocked and re-steered so that no rain gets into the southwest. And then right here we have this low, which is merging, as I mentioned. This will be probably carried out to the east and bring a lot of rain to places east. You can see the rain here is being allowed to form over Texas. So if we go back to the map and take a look at right here, this is where all that rain is showing up on the Doppler map. So we had chemtrails today that will prevent any precipitation. And here's the infrared map. We can see the clearing made by that high pressure, steering all the moisture right away from the southwest. And up here, these guys in Washington and Oregon should be getting some rain, but there is no rain on that Doppler map. So that means these people up here are being sprayed with those aerosols. Here we can see that right here in this water vapor map. Okay, let's take a look at the surface analysis map. And we can see a large trough that runs all the way from Southern California all the way up into Oregon right here with a low pressure at the surface right there. And we have high pressure right here, and we've got highs on both sides. And we have a cold front indicated here. Here's an occluded front, this purple area right here. We have, looks like 3 lows spinning out here in the West Pacific, a developing storm right off the tip of the Aleutian Islands. And another gale force low right here, which is moving to the north east. Let's take another look at the big map and we can see that. Looks like we've got that developing storm right here near the tip of the Aleutian Islands right there. All right, so there's no rain in the forecast. And we have terrorists controlling our weather, generating dangerous winds. And the arsonists seem to be working in conjunction with the timing of the Santa Ana, the so-called Santa Ana winds, which are nothing more than transmitter-generated high pressures adjacent to low pressures, which create these wild winds. It's completely manufactured wind. And this is not conventional weather theory, and that's one of the reasons why the meteorologists on TV and on the radio have been silenced. Their profession has been hijacked because we cannot apply conventional weather theory to what's actually happening here on these maps. There's no way to rationally explain a stationary high that just sits parked and is blocking a strong jet stream flow moving to the east. You see, in the northern hemisphere, everything, all the weather moves from the west to the east under normal operating conditions, but that's not always the case. When you have a stationary high sitting in place for days on end, and that's what we've seen over the last several years, that's what caused the drought here in the southwest. The same conditions that we're seeing right now. We have a tropical jet stream flow right here, which is being forced to the south, and we have this jet stream flow, which is being forced to the north. And there's no rain in the entire western half of the country. And the meteorologists are not allowed to talk about these strange ridges which just appear out of nowhere, like we're seeing right here. We have a high pressure just starting to form right there near that low. That's squashing this low, preventing development. You can see that happening, but nonetheless, it is moving into the side of this tropical flow, and we can see it picking up that moisture. Because the higher pressure flows to lower pressure, we get the condensation as it flows into that low. All right, so that's pretty much it. And you've seen all the maps. Just leave it right there, and we'll do another update later. That's it.